exclusive. Greg Flynn is joining me now. He's the founder and CEO of the Flynn Group, which operates nearly 3,000 restaurant, resort, and fitness franchises in about 44 states and has now expanded across the Pacific to Australia and New Zealand. Greg, thank you for being here and great to have you. I want to kind of ask you, what does the state of the consumer look like to you right now?
You know, Taylor, first of all, thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate it. We get pretty real-time feedback on how the consumer is feeling. We see it in our sales every day. And I think the consumer is feeling a little nervous right now, like they're being very careful with their money. And so what we see resonating are value offers that are thoughtful and communicated clearly and designed to meet a specific consumer need. People are not spending money needlessly right now.
What are those value meals, though, doing to the bottom line? Because if McDonald's is doing it and then Wendy's has to follow and everyone's trying to get to that $5, there were even reports, I believe it was with McDonald's, where some of these locally owned and operated stores had to subsidize some of that, right? Because it's not profitable. What does that value meal do to the bottom line?
Well, that's the biggest challenge for the whole industry is how do you deliver value and maintain profitability and margins? You can do it by creating value offerings specifically engineered to be profitable at the low cost you can charge. And it's not always price. Value can be a product at a higher price, but which is still perceived as a good value. It could be a quantity or quality issue. But all of our brands are seeking that same golden ring.
We're showing photos of cheese sticks, for example, and I read somewhere it's called the mozzarella stick measure, where it's a gauge of how people are buying appetizers because they can't afford or choose not to afford an entree. Are you seeing people order more appetizers because it's an affordable way to still go out and sort of enjoy that meal?
Maybe, I think we're seeing appetizers are really only a thing in full service, and we have 500 full service restaurants. So we're seeing that. In QSR, I think what we're seeing generally is people buying slightly less. And this is just consistent with them being more careful with their money, whereas they may have more impulsively added on in prior years. I think they're dialing it back just a little bit right now.
What's the biggest input cost?
Food and labor are the big two. And of those, labor is probably a little higher than food for most of our brands.
And is it because labor shortages? Is it wage inflation? Is it commodity price input inflation on the food side? Where have you seen the biggest change this year?
Well, there's inflation throughout the P&L. Every year, we've always seen some level of costs go up. Rarely do they go down. The inflation shock of 22 isn't the story of this year. It's more a persistent inflation that, is just in the low to mid single digits, sort of across the board. On the wage front, I think something like 20 states have minimum wage going up this year.
Wow.
That's always happened as well.
One way that I see it, trying to cut costs, is at the local Taco Bell. I don't have to order from a person. I punch in on a machine. How has AI and technology changed the bottom line for your restaurants?
Well, we're all searching for technological improvements that can help, protect the margins in the business. This isn't really by replacing workers. For instance, a kiosk may free up the time of someone working at the cash register to do other things. The benefit of a kiosk really is that it never forgets to upsell a customer, and it really drives a higher check than a human cashier. And we find, especially with the younger generation, they just prefer to order that way anyway. So it's delivering a better guest experience.
Talking about the guest experience.
There are other areas of.
No, go ahead.
There are other areas of Oh, yeah, there are other areas of technology that are pretty exciting. My recent enthusiasm is for drone delivery.
Yeah, I
And there's
wanted
a
to do
company.
that because so I live in New York City. I can't really catch a drone, but even companies like Amazon and Walmart are starting to test with it. Talk to me about what excites you about drone delivery and your involvement.
Sure, we're doing a test with a company called Zipline. They've already started delivering for Walmart and some other customers, and they have an ingenious solution that really solves a lot of the problems with drone delivery. They have sort of a mothership that takes off, and it's got a droid in it, which lowers by a wire down 300 feet, drops off the food, and then retracts back in the mothership, which then flies back to the restaurant or where it's going to charge up or whatever. That helps with a lot of things. One, the noise of the drone is 300 feet above you, so you don't really hear it. Two, there's not a problem of whirring blades coming down like, in your yard or around people. I think it's sort of the breakthrough that is going to make this really practical. And if I had to guess, drone delivery is going to be ubiquitous 5 years from now. It's probably going to replace much or most of car delivery that we see now, if I had to guess.
Interesting. So talk to me also about other expansions that you're looking at. I have here you're looking at expanding to Australia, New Zealand. Why those places?
Well, we are the master franchisee for Pizza Hut and Wendy's in Australia and New Zealand. And why there? It's the first step out of the country for us. So, it's a long way away, but I consider it still kind of a safe, almost baby step. It's the same language. It's the rule of law. There is a proven affection for American brands on there. American brands. Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we still hear you. Are you hearing an echo? We have you fine.
Yeah, okay, good. No, I heard a voice coming through. And, these were, in the case of Pizza Hut, an existing successful business that we bought and we're growing. So it's not like it was a big turnaround. In the case of Wendy's, we actually have opened now the first 2 Wendy's in Australia, and to great success. In fact, our second opening in Brisbane set the all-time sales record for Wendy's anywhere ever. So, we've received a tremendous reception down in Australia. It's been a fun experience.
So you've mentioned Wendy's, pizza chains, things that we've all heard of. I think what's interesting is you're also partnering up with 7 Brew brand. It's a coffee chain, but it's not as well known. It may not be a household name. Why?
Well, it's relatively young. There are over 500 units now, but it's experienced such tremendous growth that that's really been in less than 10 years. So it's, not a household name yet. We're 100% confident it will be. Now, it's different than our other brands. We've really focused on more mature brands that have thousands of units and have been around for decades, have weathered all cycles and proven their viability everywhere and have huge marketing budgets. 7 Brew is a little different for us. It's the first investment from a new platform we've created called Flynn Growth. And it's where the opportunity is more about, white space development. It's building new units. We've signed up to build 160 new 7 Brew coffee stands. We're very excited about that. And in our other brands, it has been a combination of building new units and buying units and continuously improving performance. So we're excited to pivot toward younger growth. We think we're in a good position to do that now.
Well, we really appreciate you taking some time to talk with us today, and we wish you Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and good luck next